Our commencement speaker, Randy Schaeffer, the class of '72, professor of mathematics, has been teaching at Kutztown University for more than 25 years. Mr. Schaeffer, who teaches undergraduate and graduate level courses in mathematics and mathematics education, also supervises student teachers in mathematics. Over the course of his teaching career, he has worked with more than 400 student teachers. In addition to his teaching, Professor Schaeffer pursues opportunities for service. He is the chair of the University of Curriculum Committee, the chair of the General Education Committee, the advisor for the Mathematics Honor Kappa Mu Epsilon, president of the Eastern Pennsylvania Council of Teacher Mathematics, an immediate past co-editor of the Pennsylvania Council of Trustees of Mathematics magazine, and former president and current treasurer of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education Mathematics Association. In recent years, Mr. Schaeffer helped revise the general education curriculum for the university and oversees the implementation of the new general education requirements. As president of the EPCTM, he arranges the organization's biannual conference, which brings together math teachers from around the region. His research interests include fractals and technology in mathematics and education. Professor Schaeffer, along with Kutztown Professor Emeritus Bill Bateman, owns the largest private held collection of Coca-Cola memorabilia in the world. And they are the leading authorities in the history and advertisement of the Coca-Cola Company. They also collect Kutztown University memorabilia and have artifacts from when KU was the Keystone Normal School. Mr. Schaeffer is the 2013 recipient of Kutztown Arthur and Isabel Weinsberger Faculty Award for Excellent in Teaching. I present Professor Schaeffer.
Thank you, and thank you for that gracious introduction, Jack. Okay. President Cevallos, Provost Vargas, trustees, honored guests, fellow faculty, family members, and graduates, thank you. After I was asked to be the commencement speaker, I was feeling pretty good about myself. It is indeed a high honor and a distinct privilege to be with you on this very special day. But then I happened to run into a former student of mine who is among the graduates today. She told me that just the night before, she and her mother were talking about commencement, and they were wondering what idiot was giving the commencement address. That certainly knocked me down a peg. If you had gone to the University of South Carolina, your commencement speaker would be Vice President Joe Biden. At Howard University, Sean Puff Daddy Combs. Jay Leno at Emerson College, or Peyton Manning at the University of Virginia. The difference between them and me is that they get paid tens of thousands of dollars. I get nothing. And you get what you paid for. I'm not naive. I know that a year from now, when someone asks you who your commencement speaker was and what he talked about, you won't have a clue. You probably won't remember a month or even a week from now. Some of you probably won't even remember a day from now, especially after all the partying tonight. But you will remember this glorious day and the end of one chapter of your life and the beginning of another. Now, I'm sure that most of you graduates are feeling pretty much the same way I had, that this is all about you. I hate to burst your bubble. It's not. I know this has been done before, but this time I'd like to ask the family members to please stand. So the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, children, cousins, please stand. Very impressive to see so many of you here today. So now I'm talking to the graduates. For the last 4 or 5 or 6 years, these are the people who have supported you. Not only did they have to deal with your turning from a teenager into a young adult, but they were also the ones who had to put up with all your whining about school, your big assignments, your mean professors, the other students competing against you, and the lousy food and living arrangements. Oh, and your psycho roommates. So this day is really about them. Although it may be hard to believe from where you're sitting, this is the proudest day of their lives. Actually, I'm surprised to see so many grandparents here. You wouldn't believe how many of you died in the last 4 years. And I know that's true because I killed off my own grandmother 3 times. As I was preparing for this speech, I got lots of advice, but all of it boiled down to 3 main points. 1, be inspirational. 2, be humorous, but not too. And above all, keep it short. As for the first 2, inspirational and humorous, I'll let you be the judge. As for the third, keeping it short, I promise to be brief, no matter how long it takes. Oh well, so much for the humor. I do have 3 pieces of advice for you. First, don't give up. Persevere. There, of course, will be those who wonder how you got as far as you did. But you and I know that you can go much further. And it really isn't all that hard to do. As Woody Allen so famously said, 80% of success is just showing up. But the other 20% is where you get to make a difference. Take, for example, the man who was defeated for the state legislature, who next went bankrupt, followed by a nervous breakdown, was then defeated in his nomination for Congress, followed by a similar defeat for the US Senate, then was defeated for nomination for vice president, but was finally elected president in 1860. Abraham Lincoln, arguably our greatest president ever, never gave up, and neither should you. Thomas Edison, let's hear it for Abraham Lincoln. Thomas Edison, the famous inventor, tried several thousand substances in his search for the perfect filament for the incandescent light bulbs. Do you remember the incandescent light bulb? There aren't many of them around anymore. When he was asked about all his failures, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." He went on to say that many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. But it was Winston Churchill, you want to applaud for him? Who probably said it best when he said, "If you are going through hell, keep going." So that is my first piece of advice to you. Keep going, don't give up, persevere. My next piece of advice is to be proud of who you are, where you came from, what you've accomplished. This time I use myself as an example. I grew up in nearby Schuylkill County. I started school in a small one-room schoolhouse, not unlike the one at our Heritage Center. I couldn't get away with anything. My sister, who just happens to be here today, was in the same one room that I was, and she couldn't wait to get home and tattle on me. My parents were simple folk. My father didn't even finish 8th grade. He was needed on the farm, and he had a thick Pennsylvania Dutch accent. For the longest time, I was not exactly proud of him and my humble beginnings. But then something funny happened. I grew up. I realized that being poor was nothing to be ashamed of. Having parents who worked hard to provide for their family was something to be proud of, and getting the one-on-one attention from my 1st grade teacher was something to be cherished. And then I went to a small state teachers college in eastern Pennsylvania, an unremarkable place, or so I thought. I didn't see the big picture then. I didn't truly appreciate all it had to offer. But then another funny thing happened. I got a job teaching there. Now I realize that it is a truly great, full-service university with so much to offer. We have world-class facilities and professors. Our graduates are internationally known and respected. Among our graduates, we count authors, scientists, Fortune 500 executives, artists, actors, teachers, athletes, and on and on. In fact, as Maura said, one of our own, Andre Reed, will be inducted later this summer into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So be proud of who you are. Be proud of having gone to Kutztown University, or Kutztown, or Kutztown, or Klutztown, or you'll hear a lot of creative pronunciations. And continue the fine tradition of our previous graduates. Be proud and make us proud. My final piece of advice is to be flexible. You may think you know what you want to do with the rest of your life, but as you'll soon find out, life has a way of throwing you curves. Just ask your parents. And we, faculty, may think that we've done an excellent job of preparing you for your future job, but the simple truth is that we've tried to do the best we could, but it may not be enough. According to Forbes magazine, there is a host of jobs that didn't even exist just 10 short years ago. App developer, sustainability manager, social media manager, elder care services coordinator, online advertising manager, and on and on. Here's one you've probably heard before, graduates. Look to your left. No, really, look to your left. Look to your right. One of the three of you will be in a job that doesn't currently exist within 10 years. And if that isn't scary enough, it's also predicted that the average college graduate will change his or her career, not job I'm talking about your career, 3 times in your lifetime. And you thought you had it all figured out. Welcome to the real world. So be flexible. Anyone who knows me well knows that I like to make lists, and a commencement speech is certainly no exception. So with apologies to David Letterman, here's my top 10 list of reasons why you are probably glad you're graduating today. I'd ask for a drum roll, but there are no drummers. Number 10, no more waiting in the rain for the KU shuttle. Now you'll be waiting in the rain for a city bus. Number 9, no more deadlines for assignments. Now you'll have deadlines for projects, reports, presentations, etc. Number 8, no more 8 o'clock classes 2 or 3 times a week. Now you're going to have work 8 o'clock every morning. No more having to lie about your grandparents dying. You're going to have to be more creative in the future. Number 6, oh, there is no number 6 due to Governor Corbett's budget cuts. That was another piece of advice that I got. Don't be political. I never was very good at following advice. Just ask my sister. Number 5, no more having to deal with MyKU or D2L. Now you're going to have to deal with some equally arcane software at your place of business. Number 4, no more worrying about whether classes are canceled because of bad weather. Work is never canceled. Number 3, no more thirsty Thursdays. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong list. That's on the top 10 reasons why you're sad you're graduating today. Number 2, no more exams. Now you'll have performance reviews instead. And the number 1 reason why you're glad you're graduating today, no more boring commencement speeches. Now you'll have boring speeches by your boss instead. At last, we've come to the best part of my speech, the end. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. Congratulations. Good luck. God bless you, and God bless America.